Hello, hello, hello. Good evening to everyone that has tuned in from all over the globe. Dominica, Barbados, Trinidad, St. Lucia, Italy, let's see, Nigeria, Kenya, all the different places, Canada, New York, Atlanta. I can't call everyone because I will be there forever because we know we have like over 50 countries that tune into Imagine Me TV. So I just want to say thank you very much for everyone that takes the time that comes out to listen because you guys, this Imagine Me TV, the show Real Talk, Real Issue. It's a show where we talk about real life, the challenges that we face. We talk about our challenges. We talk about our victory because in life you have to have balance. We have both. We have challenges, we have victory. So this is what the show is about. We bring different people on here, professionals, just business owners, let's see, mom and dads, housewives. It doesn't matter who you are. If you have a story to tell, Imagine Me TV will share your story. The stories that we allow people to tell is it's empowering, it's encouraging. You can share the some of the trials and the tests and the stuff that you go through, but also share how you navigate through it. Also, we give information that is relevant to today. So we want you right now to take this time and go ahead and share the live because today's show is going to be an amazing show. I'm going to just give you just a little bit about today's guest. He is the Honorable Hector John he's from Dominica. He's the former chairman of the National Youth Council, former leader of the opposition, and he's presently serving as the Salisbury Member of Parliament in Dominica. I am truly excited to bring him on because I know there's a lot of stuff that we have to talk about. I'm originally from Dominica as well, but I left there a long time ago. But Dominica is very dear to my heart. There are some things that we want to do in Dominica, and I just want to know what's going on. And I know that he is the perfect person to talk. And plus, he represents my constituency too. So I'm really truly excited. So guys, go ahead. Don't just let this be for you. We're on YouTube, we're on Roku, Amazon Fire, LinkedIn, Twitter. So no one has any excuse to say, hey, I can't see the show. So go ahead, invite your cousin, invite your friend, invite everyone because this is great information that we're gonna talk. We're gonna have a real good time tonight, okay? So we're gonna go into a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will have the Honorable Mr. Hector John. Well, 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 I hope you guys are ready because we are ready for a great show. Welcome, welcome, Mr. John. It is such a privilege and an honor to have you on here tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. Pleasure to interact with your guests from all over around the world. I'm here you calling names all around the world, following your channel. So I'm happy to be here tonight with you to share and interact.
Yes, yes. Truly, it's such an honor for us here at Imagine Me TV, and I think I'm hearing a echo. We okay? Okay, sorry about that. It's just an honor, and I've, like I said, I've followed you um, pretty much on Facebook and seen some of the work that you're doing, and just read some of your bio. And we're not gonna go and read all of that because we're gonna ask some questions and we're gonna get into that. But we're gonna just jump right into it because my goodness, I have like 23 questions. Hopefully, we can get through most of them. Most of my guests, sometimes they have to come back, so we'll see. So first of all, tell us a little bit more about yourself. For those that might not know you, where you're from, and your kids, your family. Just give us a little introduction about you, please.
Okay, no problem. I'm Hector John. I'm from Salisbury. Everybody call me Spags. That's my nickname. I worked in the banner industry for a very long time, about 16 years, and then I did my bachelor's degree in IT. Came back to Dominica to serve as a member of parliament. So I started in 2009 and have been there since. Was leader of the opposition for about 4 years, and I continue to represent the constituency of Salisbury, Colevision, Monroe. I'm an avid sportsman. I played youth cricket for Dominica for 3 years, and also I was chairman of the National Youth Council for 3 years when we started off in 1996. So I see myself as a sports enthusiast, community organizer, and also youth advocate. I've always been pushing for the empowerment of young people, and that's why I got into politics more or less.
Okay, awesome. And we're gonna get a little more into that even as we go further on. But I was thinking of it when, because I think it was 2015 when I visited Dominica, and
Yeah.
even prior to that, I would hear my mom and dad, talking about you. I knew you before I met you because they talk about you so much. How did you met my parents?
I went to school together with your brother, Afa. I was maybe a
Oh,
year.
oh Lord
Um,
Jesus! You and I
so
were in the school together. Woo.
together, he was a year ahead of me. But going to Cool Street as a young boy, you interacted with these individuals, your dad, your mom, and other elderly in the community. My dad and your dad, they were very good friends. They have both passed on, but they left that legacy. My dad left a legacy about knowing your people. In Coolidge, I have a lot of family as well. So I'm always in Coolidge. But when I got into politics, I began being more involved in the community, getting to know the people more, interacting with them, having conversations with the elders in the community. So to learn more about the community and the more learn about the needs of the community. So people like your mom, your dad, and others in the community provided guidance and support, and I really appreciated them for that. And
Same
my
here.
best way of saying thank you to them is every time I'm in Kolibisha to pass by and say hello to them and have a conversation. And these conversations always enlighten me. Go to them. So I learned a lot from them. Your mom is a very wonderful lady. Your dad as well was a great man, and you're blessed. Your family is blessed to have individuals like them to raise you and give you guidance. The community
Yes,
of Kulin history benefited from them as well.
yes, I thank God for that. That we truly have a blessed family. I know something the Lord name does not really sound really great with some people, but we're not even gonna go there. Like, don't say you're a loader because you might get in trouble. So, but one thing, and that's the thing I love about Dominique, and I don't know if it's still the same, but even growing up, we did not know a stranger, and it was like a community.
Right.
I had to be very careful what I do because not only would I get maybe my mom tried to whoop me, the neighbor they had rights to whoop me. So it's like they were watching over each other's children and supporting each other. And I don't know, is it still that way where people are united and working together and supporting and helping each other?
It's not like that. Like when you take a community to raise a child, it
Mhm.
has moved on a bit in terms. I think the community is lacking that. The community spirit is not there as well. Like you have also the extended family. Everybody's left on their own to do
Wow.
to empower themselves. You have the community spirit there, but the close knit family unit is not there like before. And I think that is another area we have to look at how do we bring that extended family unit back to
Yes,
help
yes.
mold and guidance and protect and provide support, and pass on the tradition, because we are losing a lot of our tradition that have helped molded a lot of us, and that is something we have to look at going forward. How do we get back that unit, and get our young men and women empowered, understand the role of family going forward. So these are some of the challenges that we have in, but the community is still there. Everybody know each other. Everybody still look out for each other, and that is very important as well.
And see, that's why we're doing this kind of interlogue and this interviews and stuff, that when we can identify certain issues, not to just talk about it, but even for us to work, those of us in the US or Canada, wherever we are, to work together with those of you in Dominica to see how we can lend a hand and fix these problems or these challenges. And that is what this is all about. It's not just, we're not just coming here to just talk. We want to know what's going on. We want to get information, but we want to be able to see how we can create solutions. So we're moving forward though. I know that you're in politics now, but as a child or even as a youth, was that something that you dreamt about, that you wanted to be a politician?
I think as a youth advocate, community organizer, I think it was a smooth transition into politics.
Mm,
I've always been an outspoken individual and very helpful. I want to see my community grow. So I've always been I was always involved in community groups,
okay.
sports, social groups, advocacy groups. So I was always involved in this type of things, playing a leadership role in these groups in my community. Even in the church group, I was the president of our National Youth Congress, or Catholic Youth Movement in my community for about 7 years. That's
Oh,
how I graduated
wow.
into the National Youth Council as well, and make my contribution at that level, and then moving forward into the politics. So, but I have always been involved in my community. If you ask about Hector always involved in everything in the community. So that was a smooth transition from being a community organizer or youth advocate to national politics.
Very good. And from everything that I've heard and seen, I know that you're doing a really great job. And you've won more than one term. So that means you really are good at what you're doing. How many terms have you won?
This is my third term, and I also won a by-election as well in our
Wow.
constituency. So I've retained my seat. I won it for the first time and retained it 3 times.
Wow, that is amazing. Woo, we gotta give you kudos to that, man. Kudos to that. Because
Yeah,
that's really great. And I truly believe it's because, of your heart of compassion, and where I remember when I met you for the first time in 2015, you were like, just down to earth and really worked with everyone. It wasn't like, just you passed by this one. You were just a man for the people, for the community. And I think that goes a long way, where it caused you to get the respect that you deserve. And for the community to say, you know what, this is a man we can trust. This is a leader that we can depend on. And I'm just praying that even as we continue, that we can, put that more out into the community, that the younger ones that we're raising, the next generation, we can give them that type of value. So how long have you been in politics? Like how many years? And are there any regrets?
I started in 2009, so it's 12 years. No regrets so far. It's a lot of it's a challenge as well, because you're a member of the opposition on the opposition side,
Hmm.
and you have to try to create to represent your people's best interests and try to create an environment of growth and development in your community. And it can be a challenge when you on the opposition side. So it's not like the American system. We are part of the Westminster system, where it's first past the post, and the government that win the majority seats controls the purse of the state, the treasury. So it's very difficult. You can go all day and advocate on behalf of the people, agitate, make representation in the best interest. So I continue to do that. I'm very vocal about it. Some people tell me too vocal, but that's how you get things done. Sometimes in small democracy, you have to be very forceful to get what you want. And for example, Kolibistri is one of my biggest challenge in terms after Hurricane Maria, tropical storm Erika and Hurricane Maria. Um, Kolibistri, your village, have gotten the least attention. So we these are some of the challenges you have. Another challenge that you have is the um, unity in the community. I think politics have divided us so much. You know,
Mm.
in the time of your parents, they would have campaigning for 3 months, and after the election, people win, whoever seat win, party wins the seat, and everybody work together for the advancement of the country. And
Yeah.
that is what I would like to see come back: the camaraderie, the respect, and love for country. You know, that is what lacking right now. And we at the top as leaders must not only say but act it. Make sure that we see that we're showing that when I go to Kulibistri, I don't only go by the people who voted for me, but I go by the orders and advocate on their behalf. And that is what I have been doing. Since I started, I've always been a people's person, and I always want good for my country. If I didn't
Yes.
want, it was about me, I would have left Dominica a long time and go back to the US. You know, so it's about my country and serving. I love doing what I do. Sometimes it can be frustrating, stressful, but at the end of the day, you know that you're doing your heart is in the right place, and you continue to advocate on the behalf of everybody.
Well, Haiti, we pray that things will change. And one of the points that you make, how it's different than what it was in the U.S. And I used to think that, um, it was kind of like the same, but it's good to know that because to me, in my opinion, even if the opposition or another party did not win, we are still dealing with the country. These are still our people. These are still Dominicans. So whether you red, yellow, green, blue, whatever,
Right,
everybody should still have the same rights. They should still be able to get whatever their needs are. It shouldn't be where well, what, you didn't vote for me, because you can't have everybody voting for you.
right,
You know, you can't think that everybody's going to support one side. There's going to have an opposition. So we need to get it to a place where, and maybe they will get the message where, hey, yeah, this other party did not win, but that doesn't mean that you alienate them and you take care of the ones that voted for you. And that to me is not right. And I will say it out loud, it is not right. Um,
right,
and even as the people that are in power, their mothers and fathers and whatever, just you would never just say, what, well, because some of my kids didn't do right, I'm not going to take care of them, I'm just going to take care of the good ones. That is not, everybody still deserve the fair chance, after the election is over. And you made a good point. When I remember when I was growing up, I don't think I ever got the chance to vote in Dominica because I left, I maybe before I was 18. um, they would have the campaign, and the neighbors wouldn't talk to the neighbors, even the church people didn't talk to each other, all kind of
right,
crazy. I remember that. But then when it was done, it was done. And my mom, I think at that time they had the freedom rights and the labor rights. That's what I
right.
remember. But they would
Yeah,
still
that's it.
come and bring the sewing to my mom. They would still buy produce from my dad. And even just prior to that, they didn't even talk to each other because of the election and stuff like that. But the unity was still there. That is why we do this. So this can come back. We can get back to where we used to be, because there's no need to be, the fighting and all the struggling and stuff like that when one set of people are doing well and the other set is not doing well. And I want to go back to Kulu history as well, because I know even like when I was here, we saw all the pictures, we saw all the devastation, and it really breaks my heart that, they have not, that there has not been like a consistent setup with Kulubistri and say, what, let us make sure whatever they decide to do there, but meet with the people of Kulubistri, say, hey, what can we do? Maybe you can try something that they want. If it doesn't work, then you will change it. But I truly believe something more should have already been done, because when you look at it on the map, Kulubistri was one of the really very, very much devastated. And I'm not sure, exactly what is going on. Maybe they'll hear a message now and they'll say, what, let's see how we can help Kulubistri and solve it. But I think we're looking for just fairness. where we can, again, we talk about unity, where we can work together as a team, because there's no reason for the pulling and the pushing. If we work together, I think we will get more accomplished. And if we are all saying that we want what's best for Dominica, especially the young people that we have coming up, they are the ones that would suffer. We want to
Yeah,
leave a better legacy for them.
for sure. As I said, after Tropical Storm Erica, I think Kulibistri was one of the declared a disaster area after Erica, after PD7, and majority of the international organizations, the heads, the prime ministers who visited Dominica came to Kulibistri because they could access Kulibistri to see the devastation and witness it firsthand. So you had the prime minister of Barbados, the prime minister of um, Grenada, Brian Lara, all these other people, the head of, I think, one of the IMF or one of the organizations or the UN, I'm not too sure, came to Kulibistri as well. So Kulibistri was, they used Kulibistri to represent the country, to see what really transpired, the devastation in Kulibistri. And from that time, we dredged the village, we cleaned up a bit, but we have not gotten that level of assistance and development for the area. People or the communities have gotten received the assistance with the same areas who were declared disaster areas after the hurricane. I think it's 9 communities. And Kulbishri is maybe one of the few that haven't got received anything. And these are the type of things we have to look at. As we said earlier on, it's about building country. And after the tropical storm Erica, I said at a meeting that Tropical Storm Erica destroyed our fences around our personal homes. So we could build community fences where we can build back the bonds of unity in the community and see how we can work forward to advance our village. Kulibistru used to be one of my favorite villages to visit. It still is. But the Kulibistru that I knew before is not there anymore. And how do we do that? How to build community is for the central government, local government, the stakeholders, the villagers to come together. Let us build Kulibistru together and move forward. And the government has to make sure they make resources available for advancing Kulibistru.
Okay, well, hopefully they might show us something to think about. Let's see what we can do. Because in your opinion, what do you think? What is the problem? Why it is the needs of Kulibistri have not been addressed?
I think, as I said earlier on, if there is unity in Kulibistri, we can have a united voice to the government and they will listen to a village that is united.
Okay.
But if we are divided, you're going to have more challenges, So that's where the problem is. We have to start as a community to let us put our differences aside or egos and say, okay, we have a common problem. The common problem is the neglect of Kulibistri. How do we move forward, young, old, in between, Catholics, Pentecostal, everybody, gospel mission? Let's come together and bring that unity together and form a committee or whoever to represent our best interests and take that issue to the government. So we go there as a team, unity in purpose, and that is what is lacking right now. I think if we can do that, Kulibistri will get the type of attention it deserves. It will get a piece of the pie, as we say in local parlance.
That sounds fair enough. So hopefully the villagers, the people hearing us, or even if it's one person that here might be able to go and spread the word. Say, hey guys, let's come together, because we
Yeah.
all have children, we have cousins, we have family that
Right.
in the same village. Let's come together and see how we can get the village back, get the unity that used to be there. And I know people, we used to hang out together. We used to go by each other's house, and it was fun being there. Even when I visited in 2015, like going up to Plaster Wheel and those places, it
Right.
it was.
Very nice community. You can going up, walking up the plaza, where you can pick your mangoes, fresh mangoes,
Yes.
on the roadside, and that's what make the community a place to live, natural. The river is right there running through the village. It is a threat right now because of the um what is happening right now. The storms are more dangerous right now. And so is having that effect on the community. So um, retaining walls and whatnot, river walls is needed in the community to protect lives and properties, and we have been advocating for that. We need to plant more trees in the village as well to bring back that look, that nice vegetation that we had in Kolibistri, and to bring back the community to life again. There's people, we need to do that. We have a lot of our elderly, there's still young people growing up in Kolibistri, and they want them to be um, raising their families in a safe, a welcoming environment. And that is what we would like to see happen in Kolibistri. But we must be united first. Unity right now is a challenge in Kolibistri. And you can hear that on the ground. I'm always in Kolibistri. And if we can come together, put the party politics aside, Kolibistri will be a better place.
Okay, that sounds good. So, I'm a person, I pray a lot, so I'll be, praying for that, but also hopefully we can, and if I have to be part of it, I'm good with that as well. How we can get the everyone together and say, hey, these are some of the things, because I'm here, I advocate for my village too, or right here I am where I am right now, and there's some stuff that we have in the works that when I meet with other people that can do something for Dominica, that's who I talk about. What can we do to help? And there's some stuff that's in the works. I don't want to talk about it right now, but that is what we will need to even be able to bring some more positive light to not just Dominica on the whole, but even to our village, and to make sure that all the young people there and the elderly, that there's stuff for them to do. They have resources and things like that. And that's what we're doing. We're not doing this to bash anybody. We don't want to bash anybody. This is not what this is
No,
about, but there's conversation that needs to be had. That we have to be able to speak openly without the fear of people getting mad at us, but to say, hey, there is a challenge, there is a situation, and if we do not address it, it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. So that is what we're doing to be able to address it, and see, hey, where do we go from there? Whether you talk to someone and we put a committee together with both people from both sides and work together for one common good. We're gonna go into a quick break, and when we come back, the one of the questions I want to be thinking about. I know that you have been a politician for a while. I want you to think about some of the challenges and to just talk to us a little bit about what it has been like to being a politician in Dominica. So we're going to go into a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we will jump into that. Welcome back. Welcome back to Imagine Me TV. Real talk, real issues, real people. And that is what we're doing here today. If you're just tuning in, We are speaking with the Honorable Hector John. He is the Salisbury Member of Parliament in Dominica, and we are just, having real conversation. And even as I mentioned, the ad that you just saw, like some of the things that you see on there, the sewing for the women and the girls and stuff like that. These are some of the things that we want to be able one day, to take to Dominica as well. So just be praying about that. But welcome back, and we just want to give a shout out and say thank you to everyone that is watching. And if you guys have any questions for Honorable John, just you can, if you're on Facebook, you can put it in the Facebook chat. I don't think you can send it on YouTube, but you can put it in the Facebook chat. If he can answer it, he'll answer it. If you have a question for me, if I can answer it, I'll answer it. So the what we want to talk about, what are some of the challenges you have encountered in the years as you serve, as a politician? What are some of the challenges and what are some of the victories?
Um, some of the challenges is that to try to get things done in your constituency and at the constituency level and also at the national level. I believe we have been pushing for free and fair elections. You see that across the globe, that you want everybody to be able to vote freely without fear or favor. But you want, and that's what I would like to see happen, and that's why I got into politics to ensure that we have free and fair elections. So you can vote to any party that you want. It's first past the post. So this has been one of our major challenges as members of the opposition. How do you overcome that in terms of we have gone to the Carter Center, the OAS, we have written to everybody in terms of ensuring, seeing that we can get electoral reform in our country. And so these are some of the challenges that we have in terms of getting things done in my constituency. You'll advocate and advocate, and at the end of the day, sometimes you have to protest to get some things done. As an opposition party, I believe I should have the opportunity to go out there and represent my constituency's best interest. And depending on some of the things that I ask for my constituency, the government should be able to come there, do the evaluations, and see how important it is for the community to grow. Farm access roads. Ensuring that we have young people employed. We have um, youth skills training program to ensure that we empower them. For example, in Kolibistri, Cleve is right there. We can get young people attached with him to empower them as mechanics. We have Kid in Placerville, where he's doing woodwork, so you can get some children. And that you have also Tad Loader, I think is your cousin, who is doing arc welding. So within Kulbistri already, you have some areas where you can get young people to get some skills training. That's what about get you forward right now. So that is the areas I would like to see it happen in terms of empowering young people in my constituency, Salisbury, as a farming community. You want to ensure that we have proper farm access road. If you don't have that, you cannot bring out quality and quantity from the farm. And at the end of the day, you have this being a farmer will be sustainable. Coolibis Monroe Heights as well. We have some issues with our roads, syndicates. So these are some of the challenges that we have. I've been advocating for that every time, all the time. But I continue to do as much as I can um, going forward. Some of the victories that I have is being there, standing up for my people. Despite the challenges, I am there genuinely on the behalf. And they're seeing that you are speaking on their behalf, you're advocating on their behalf. You might get aggressive sometimes just to get the message across. And you can see that the villages need more support in terms of government support from central government to ensure that we get some of the things, our schools going properly. Our fishing industry is a challenge as well. Our young fishermen on the Batali Beach, they need proper fishing gear on the Salisbury Beach as well. So we have been advocating for that, to see how we can get support for them. Our young men and women who are unemployed. Some of them are doing some work with the NEP, but we want something that is more sustainable for them. We want, for example, your mom was a seamstress in the community. If we have some young women in the community learning the skills, they can be self-sufficient, and that is what we like to see happen. That people are independent, and when you're independent, working for your own money, you can make independent decisions. You are not being forced by any politician to make decisions that you're not comfortable with. And these are the like things I like to see. Your parents, when they grow up in Kulubi Street, no politician will tell them what to do or how to do it. Um, they might give them some training in maybe in agriculture to maybe have the technical officers come to them. Your mom might have the best sewing techniques, but cutting techniques somebody might have to show. And these are the type of things you see. We learn from each other, we
Yeah.
empower each other, and that is what is lacking right now. But the community, not only Kolubi History, but Dominica on a whole, we have to be um, educate ourselves on our rights, on the importance of free and fair elections, the importance of having a sustainable job, not take it for granted. The importance of empowering your young people in our community for them to continue that process. I am not going to be a politician for the rest of my life, but the young men and women who are coming up, we have to create that opportunity for them to see politics as a way, or being a politician as a way of serving the community, and as a way of also empowering themselves. You know, we have to remove that stigma on politicians. About their for themselves, and that is why I continue to serve. In that capacity, as I said, it's not about the money. If it was about the money, I would have run a long time. But I feel every day when you go to the community and people tell you thank you for what you're doing. When you go to other villages, and you, like on the weekend, I was in Riviera Siri, and I was reminded by several farmers that some people get to know me now because of politics, but I know them from the 90s when I worked in the banana industry, and the way you interacted with them and work with them, and empower them. And that is what I love doing. I love serving. I'm happy where I am in terms of a politician, but I'm not happy where my country is in terms of what can be done and the opportunities you can create to foster growth and development and to empower young people. I want to see more of that happen, that advocacy, more opportunities for them. And they have to take the bull by the horn as well.
Yeah.
Not sit there and expect people to do everything for them, but they have to show that they want to grow as well, and give people like me the energy to continue to work for and on their behalf.
Yes. This is amazing. That's a loaded, a lot. And we thank you, for all what you're doing. Thank you for your service and your heart for the people of Dominica on the whole. And I've seen the consistency in you, where it's not just your constituency, but Dominica on a whole. And you mentioned the fishing, the farming, welding, skill work, and really these are skills that you want some of the young people to have, because not every child will be able to go to college, and that's how it is in the US as well. Not everyone. I have a college degree, but I don't use it. I'm like, I've told somebody once, I wish I could get a refund for that, there's thousands of dollars, and give it back, but I can't. So it's not everyone that can go to college. But if we can find skill work like fishing, farming, all these different things. Yesterday I was out there, and then we were burning the we have a lot of trees around where we live, and then every 2 weeks we got to get the leaves and put them together and burn it. And then when I went back there yesterday, there was I guess there was some wood in there, and there were coals in there, like the black charcoals, and I was like, whoa! It brought back my memory, because I remember my dad used to sell big bags of coals. All this thing, my dad was a farmer. My dad didn't work for anybody. He had his farm. He did the coals. He did, and maybe that's why I get this thing. I have all these jobs, all these businesses.
Yep.
He did the coals. He had the fish part, and did all these different things. And this is the reason for this. And I'm praying to God that even one of my friends, wherever they are in the world, that they can see, okay, this is what Dominica needs. and we are there advocating on behalf of our country, not just on behalf of any party, but on behalf of Dominica, especially the young people, because um, we want to empower them. We want to equip them. We want to give them the tools. We don't just want to give them a fish. We want to teach them to fish. We don't want to just give them money and say, "Hey,
Exactly.
no." Give them jobs. Let them be skilled. Train them, and that is what I think that is what we should start looking at. And I'm hoping that some of the leaders would look at it and look at the show and say, you know what, hey, how can do you guys have some ideas? Let's come to the table. Let's all come together. Because let me tell you, if we come together and we work together, Dominica is going to prosper. Dominica is going to do better. But if we are scattered and everybody wants to do their own thing, and we can't do that. So I'm really hoping that even as we start, and this is just a start of this one conversation, we're gonna keep having it. We're gonna speak out loud. We're gonna blow the trumpet until something happens. Because I'm in my 50s. I've already lived my life. My kids are grown. Who's looking out for the young people? We
And
want to have kids that are empowered, that are, when we train them. I learned to sew in Dominica, and because of that skill that I learned from back home, now I have my own course that I've written. I have taught at a university. I taught my course at the Clayton State University right here in Georgia. I have private students that I teach. If I make a wedding dress for someone, it might cost you $2,000 and up. So can you imagine if there's some young people learn those skills and then they can do these things on their own? That would be amazing. So that is why we're doing this, to see how we can help Dominica, to see how um, there will be a more balance and more unity, in the country. So I thank you for what you're doing. And like there's a scripture that said, don't get weary in doing well. I know you have a heart for it. And I pray that even more people will jump on board and say, you know what, we're not doing it because we're this, or we're doing it for the good of the country. We're doing it because we love our people. And a lot of times they say people just leave Dominica. A lot of times there's not much to do there anyway, so everybody's looking for a way out. But I believe that if you bring more jobs and more training and stuff, you may have some people, you may have some doctors and some nurses that may want, attorneys, whoever that may want to come back and serve in Dominica.
for sure.
Because for me, I would prefer have my school in Dominica than anywhere else. So let's keep this conversation going, and trust God that something positive, will come out of it. So let us our time is coming and gone. So let me jump to some more questions. And I'm just gonna read this. As the founder of a nonprofit organization working with youth, this is very dear to my heart. I believe if we are intentional about equipping and empowering our youth, giving them opportunities and the right tools to help them navigate through life, we will build stronger communities. And not that only. When young people know what you believe, when the young people know that you believe in them, and you take the time to listen to them and help them, it makes a significant difference in their life. And again, that is what we want to do. One of the things that we had talked about, though, and you said that was also dear to your heart, was sports. Talk to me more about the sports in Dominica. And I see all these different countries that usually participate in different sports and stuff. What needs to be done to even help with sports in Dominica as well?
Well, sports right now, COVID has affected most of the sports activity in the country. But one of the challenges that we have for the past years is the upkeep of our sporting facilities. And that is a challenge. Kuli Bistri has a playing field, and the young men hardly play football on it. They try to, I think they play the small goal football in the school grounds. But that is where we have a challenge where young people not getting the opportunity to especially in the rural communities, to play sports on a competitive level, and be cricket, football, basketball, because of the lack, as I said, of these sporting facilities. You have football being played in some parts of the country, but not the way we like to see it. Cricket as well as is practically dead. You have a league in the Kalinago territory, but beside that, you don't have the cricket you had before. When I played cricket in the 80s and 90s and even the early 2000s, you had competitive cricket around the country. But right now, our sporting facilities are not up to par. So that's where we have to work on and get young people back into playing sports. You know, let them look at the health aspect of it, sports tourism, and also getting an opportunity to get scholarships for sports. You know, basketball. You have a lot of scholarship, track and field, cricket, football. There are scholarships all there, but how we need to get them disciplined playing sports, and create that environment for them, the opportunities, get the scholarships going for them to not only play sports but also to um, get an education to advance themselves. So that's where I like to see sports go. In Salisbury, we're trying to get the playing field going, to get them back into sports. The basketball court on the beach, on the Salisbury beach as well. But I look at it from the national perspective. We have to revamp our restructure and revamp our sporting sector and get more people involved, people who have love and passion for sports, to ensure that we get our young people back into sports. There are a lot of young people who are passionate about sport, but they are not part of the system, the mainstream system to get them. And so we need to get them on board. And that's where leaders in the country have to put on our petty differences aside and say that person is the best man for the job, and let's bring them on board. At the end of the day, you'll get, or young people get that exposure and support, and to go forward. We have a few of them out there doing well, and we need to get them the support and let others see that they can make it through sports, as well. So I would like to see that happen. So in Salisbury, recently we created and registered the Salisbury Sports Committee, headed by a very, I would say, dynamic young lady named Sheena Harry. And we are moving forward. We have a very good team, and we're trying to see if we can get young men and women involved in the different disciplines. We are registering these clubs at the national level, so we can get them involved. We want to also incorporate young men and women from Kulibishri and Morachet as well going forward, and broaden the horizon. What we would like to see is getting them involved, and that is important for us. That is critical. Because you're gonna have the young men with all that, and women with all that energy on the roadside. You know what will happen to idle hands.
Mm-hmm.
That energy, we can get them, put that energy into a positive use, and that use is to empower themselves. And I would like to see young people move forward. I do not like to see we have to be helping them all the time. We have to give them guidance and let them move forward and empower themselves. And that is how our parents raised us. That is how our former leaders created opportunities for us without the shadow, or the caller shadow. And that is one of the biggest problems we have. The callers telling us we should support that person, or no, or where you come from, your demographics, or where you come from. We should support you because you're from South, we're not giving you support, or you're from vehicles, will not give you support. But you're Dominican. If you deserve the support, you should get it, and the encouragement to move forward. And I would like to see that happen. That's why I say sports have a very important role to play right now. You saw what happened in the Cricket World Cup recently. What is happening in the NBA, track and field. People getting these exposures coming from very humble beginning, and becoming millionaires through sports. So why don't have a millionaire from Kurubishi, Monaco, or Salisbury, or even from Laplin or Dodan? And we'd like to see that happen.
Exactly, exactly. And I'm glad you're taking that stand. And again, the plea is for people that are out there to say, you know what, let's work together. And like you said,
Yeah.
you get the best person that can do the job and get it even more, more recognized in Dominica versus just, putting someone that, hey, let me just let my friend do it. No, If your friend doesn't know what to do, let them take a seat and get someone that knows what they're doing. Because again, when our youth win, we win. When
Right.
anyone wins, the whole countries will benefit from it. So um, I want to encourage you to, keep going. I know it might be a lot for you to do, but I'm praying that people will, when they hear, they will say, you know what, how can I help? But even there's some people that's on there listening right now that may go later and listen to it. And I'm going to send it to a couple friends of mine. If someone were listening, what is it? What type of help do you need right now? Because we don't want to just talk. We want to be able to say, you know what can we do? What can us in the United States or even in Dominica or Canada, wherever people are that say that maybe someone that might be the owner of a team or something. What is it that you need that would help even in the sports arena? What can the outside community do to help you guys?
Yeah, what we look for, as I said, most of the sporting facilities they are not up to par. So the basketball court, we will need a basketball courts, rims, balls, football kits for the young children. For example, in Dublin, there's a football academy for children, free to about 15. My son attended that academy as well. So there are a lot of young men and women that will need support in terms of football kit, football boots, and whatnot. To give them support to be able to play the sport and run out there and grow in the sport. They have some excellent coaches at the Dublin Academy, former national players. They give back to the community in Dublin. So that is another starting point. Um, Basketballs, footballs, cricket gears, all this can go a long way. Table tennis courts and whatnot can go a long way in empowering those young people. Some of the schools need that type of support as well because that's where they start the sports with the young people in this primary school setting, and some of the primary schools will need that type of support to empower them. So you take it away from the politicians and the politics, but you make it community oriented. So you have the stakeholders is directly affecting and impacting the stakeholders, and I like to see that. That's what I like to see. NGOs working with other NGOs in the community, not siding in the politician, but not getting them too involved. And as you say, that's where even though the politician means well, some people would like to say see perception, saying you only give favors to that person or the person that is closer to them. So if you do it for the school system or the community groups, as I said, the Salisbury Sports Committee and others, you have the Dublin Football Academy, you have the Newton Football Academy, you have the Kalinago Premier League that's in the Kalinago territory where they have the football and cricket as well. They have needs as well. It's across the country. I'm not looking at only at my community. I try not to be selfish. But if you have, for example, there's someone that want to assist, they have to look at somewhere they would like to give, even though it's not Salisbury, but I'd like them to give support to other groups around the country and to empower them and empower the communities because you might have some great talents in some of the areas, but don't have um, the tools and skills, the sporting gears, to help them advance. And that might be a challenge. Maybe a football boots will go a long way for a young person. A basketball, two basketballs will go a long way for a few young boys on the roadside that can play basketball but don't have a ball to at least bump and go to the courts. So these are the type of things you that can be done to assist. As I said, we have the human resource within us within the communities to assist and provide guidance, provide support, provide the training. But you need the resources, the tools, the gears to assist them going forward. And that's where the challenge is right now. The government has its role to play as well, but we as community has to also try to source some of these resources to make sure that we get it in the hands of the young people who really need them.
Great, great. And I really like where you include your whole community.
Yes.
You include, and even the constituencies that you're not in charge of, you have a heart for people.
Yes.
and we're praying to God that that love can spread where others can say, you know what, put all politics aside, at the end of the day, put it aside, because at the end of the day, everybody needs to eat, everybody needs a place to stay, everybody,
Oh,
their children may need pampers or milk. We have to come to a point where things are more balanced and where we work, because I think if we work together in unity, we will get more accomplished. Our young people and our elderly people, everybody will, I think it will be a much better system
right.
than
Equity.
having this separation in the country. Dominica is too small for that. We only have like what, I don't know, 60, 70,000 people,
Right. About that. Yeah. So,
so I we can do better, and that's why we have, again, I'll say, this is why we have in the conversation these, some of these, you know about it, you in that end, so you can tell us on your part. Those of us that are watching and listening, we want to be able to do our part. And if someone needs to go and talk to the prime minister and say, hey, we need to come together, or the different representative for the different communities, and put the people that equip, the people that are experienced, the people that can do the work, the people, it doesn't matter whether red, yellow, blue, green, or white. If you're not going to take a doctor and tell him to do a farmer's job
right.
when you go to
Exactly.
the doctor you need. So let us find the people that can really do the work so we can move forward, because we are going to benefit from it, right?
For sure. For sure. And that is important. As I said earlier on, unity of purpose, and our communities need that right now. I came from a very big family. I had 13 siblings. And I'm like a baby brother, but the love and care that I that was around me, it is very difficult for me not to be loving and caring. My dad always told us, do not let anything waste at home, share it with others. So growing up, I had that always stayed in me to always believe of sharing and looking out for each other, because the more people you have around you that is happy, the more they keep you happy. But you have people around you that's sad all the time, you are depressed as well, because you're part of them.
Yeah.
So when they're working, when they're empowered, you feel more you feel happy, you feel joyful, you feel that you're accomplishing something to build community and to empower people. And that is the legacy I would like to leave, that we can work together, irrespective of what party we support, but we can leave a legacy of unity, togetherness, and growth in our community, irrespective of what part of the world you are, that you can contribute towards empowering someone or making a change in someone's life.
Okay, that's what we were gonna do for the plea too, and we have a couple ads that we want to talk about. The two-day sponsor for the show, but even before, once we get that, we'll put it out. But again, I'm just making that plea. I'm speaking to the Honorable Hector John from Dominica, and he is the Salisbury Member of Parliament. So is that like Salisbury, Coolidge Street, Monroe, Placerville, all these places all together, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Grand Savan, yes. Tapive, yeah.
Where is that
Tapive in Upper Salisbury, in the
again?
top
Oh,
of Salisbury.
okay, I'm not familiar with that one. Okay,
Okay, all
that's
right.
cool. Yeah, we have like a lot of little
Let's like
villages, right?
areas, yes.
Called
Yeah,
villages.
yeah.
Cool. So again, we're making a plea that we need support, not just we don't just want to speak, but we want to be able to get groups together. And whether you're in Dominica, Canada, you don't have to be a Dominican to help, but we want to be able to implement some, and we want to preferably the government of Dominica will work with us, because all of this is going to benefit Dominica. What we can do, farming and welding, the fishing industry, skilled workers, sewing, all these different things that the sports arena, all these different things that we need to come back in Dominica, because we know the few hurricanes had really devastated the country really bad. But those of us that are not in Dominica, sometimes we don't understand much of what is going on. And that's why we have this show, so we can shed a light, and hopefully we'll get some other ministers, even on the opposite side, to come on. I would love to talk to them as well, where we can talk openly about, hey, what can we do? How can we work together to get all these things accomplished? We're going to go to a quick ad with the Lifestyle Empowerment Center, which is the sponsor for today's show. And this is one of the events that is coming up soon. It's on the 18th of December, where there's different vendors that's going to be sharing their work. We have Dr. Lawrence and myself, and we have a counselor. These are some of the things that we would love to do in Dominica as well, where you have one building and you have all these different businesses housed under it. And we also have another special, a Christmas special for the center as well. If you in the Fayetteville area, or he actually does virtual consultation as well. So this is wellness services, 25% off for the Christmas. So we want to thank the Lifestyle Empowerment Center for sponsoring today's show. Thank you very much. Oh wow, this I really I know there's a lot more that we can talk about. Our hour has come and gone, so definitely we will revisit this maybe sometime in January or February to have you back on the show and have some of the other leaders, because I would like to maybe the show is every Sunday, so even if I could get a person to come once a month, that way we can say, hey, where we are, what are we doing, and see how we can uh, help, and not just in giving stuff, but even in some of uh, the rules. And I mean, I don't want to get into to things I hear happening and things, excuse me, I see happening right now, but we're looking for solution. We're not looking to point fingers
Right,
or to
right.
say who wrong and who right and who well. There we identify the problems and we want solution. So are you willing to be serious? Are you willing to admit there is a problem and identify the problem and say, you know what? Yes, we're willing to work together and be fair, be honest, be open, be transparent, because that is what is gonna help Dominica get better. Because I look at some other small countries and I see how they're doing, and I'm like, oh, we can do that too, and that is what we don't have to be on the ground to be doing it. That's why we have men like you and some other leaders that can help. So our time has come and gone. But in closing, anything that you want to say, you can take a minute, 2 minutes, but it's yours. Anything that you want the viewers out there that are watching, that just speak to us from your heart.
All right, thank you very much. I just want to thank you for bringing me on the show. I appreciate that, and I just want you to extend my best wishes to your mom and the others. Very nice people in Kolibishu. Just want to thank you. Generally, the reason why I want to thank you, because a lot of this, your platform, this platform, we can go out there and other people. I see a lot of people from the area is following, so that is very good that we can share. But I just want us to continue to work together to build a country. We all have a role to play in towards the advancement of our country. And I want us in Kolibishu, Salisbury, and Rancher to look at how we unite to bring that development to the people in the area, and also look at Dominica by extension. How do we work together? And this discussion, I am happy that it coming at the end of the year, so we can start the year afresh. We're in the Christmas season. Peace on earth, goodwill to men, and we want we all to look at uh, to reflect what we have done for our country, what we have done for self. And going forward, why do I hate my neighbor for politics? And why do I resent that leader who trying to bring the best for my community and those leaders? So we have to work together, irrespective of what side. I just want us to unity is strength. There should be unity in purpose, and on a local front in the Kulibistri, Salisbury, Monroe. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for entrusting me in your constituency for the past 12 years. I will continue to work and advocate on your behalf. And at a national level, that I will be able to bring out the needs of the constituency, and we can get positive support from the state. Kulibistri, Salisbury, Monroe is ours to build. Nobody will come build it first. We
That's
cannot
right.
sit there and say that the government will do whatever, but we have to ensure that we let them know that what we want going forward. Once again, thank you for having me. I want to wish you all the very best as you continue um, to bring all the issues on your platform. It is important for us to be able to have that opportunity to dialogue and dialogue constructively with those at home and abroad, and to let them know what's going on in our community. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work ahead of us. We can continue to. We're gonna start to get weary. We just have to continue to. They said the what is it? The thing for good, best hard work is more work. I'm just trying not coming to mind right now. But we have to continue to work hard. We have to continue to work smart. We have to continue to work together.
Yes.
And and my last word, unity is strength. Thank you for having me.
Well, it was really my pleasure, and I am praying, and I know that we will make a difference when we
Right.
put our heads together and we unite together. And that is, you've been consistent with that unity, and we pray
Yes.
that that will be like a plague of unity that will, everybody will catch it. That is what we're praying for, because I truly believe if we unite and we work together, we can get so much more accomplished. Even in the Word of God, it say one can put 1,000, but two can put 10,000.
Right.
And then that is what we want. We all have the love for our country, what we want to see, what's best for Dominica. We have a heart for everyone, but especially the elderly and the young people, the children. And next year we are going to take even a more, you know, be down there more. Try to do even more down there. And like I said, we have stuff in the works. And as you said, Colby Street, Monroe, Placerville, Salisbury, that's our constituency. We're gonna work together. And if we start there, and if we can start there, the fire can spread.
For sure.
So let us focus on that. And if we need permission from the government, we will follow the rules. We'll follow the guidelines and stuff. But we're gonna work together as a team and say, you know what, this is what we want to do. Maybe when it start there, it can expand to the other areas in Dominica. So that's what we're doing. We're not just talking. So we're calling out everybody that can help. If you have connections, we need those connections. If you know people that have planes and buildings and whatever they have, we need those connections, because we want to stop talking and we want to put action to that as well. So I'm looking forward to working with you and even some of the other people that I've contacted, and we spoke about it already, that the plans that we have, it's going to go forth and we're not going to have any problems. So I thank you very much. And we want to thank all our listeners, all our viewers, those that share it. Continue, even after we're done, we want you to continue sharing. And if you have a story to tell, if you are a person of influence, or you've gone for a challenge, whether you're in Dominica or wherever, you see he's all the way in Dominica, I'm all the way in Georgia, but the show is going on. So we need to hear your story. We need to empower our community. So if you want to talk to us, go ahead, and all the information is there. You can send us a message, and we would love to have you in the show. And once again, I want to thank the Honorable Hector John from the Salisbury constituency, and he did an amazing job. God bless you. This is Imagine Me TV, Real Talk, Real Issue with Arthur Lawrence.